today we have a special treat for all of you guys. I know there's going to be some new faces in here, but Jennifer is, as you've seen in the group, she's going to talk to you guys a little bit about like really what some of her struggles were, and then when her breakthrough moment came, and really how she kind of broke through to the other side. And it was quite sudden. It was like the ceiling just kind of opened up for her and she broke through it. So Jennifer, with that said, why don't you talk a little bit? I know you dropped a couple stories in the group, but let's kind of revisit some of the things that, you know, where you were, where that place was when you made that phone call or signed up with that application for me.
Hey everybody. I'm so glad you came. Yeah, I was desperate. I was working out every single day. I was going to kickboxing. I had my group of girls. I'm a mother of 2 boys and I live a very busy lifestyle. And I just couldn't understand why I wasn't losing anything. Like I would not lose 1 single pound. Like I would fluctuate between like 2, 3, maybe 5 pounds. And I'd been doing that consistently for a year. And I knew that it was what I was eating. And I thought that I was eating pretty healthy. Because I would have my protein and my vegetables and my fruit and my snacks, and I would eat pretty consistently throughout the day. I didn't miss breakfast. I was always a breakfast person. And I just couldn't understand why I wasn't losing any weight, except for the fact that I knew that it had to be my nutrition, my food. And then the biggest thing for me was that I was so addicted to sugar. Like I literally was eating ice cream every single night. And I wouldn't even have it in the house.
Hold up. Hold up. You were eating healthy?
Yes. Ice cream's not healthy. It's dairy, right?
Oh, okay. Got you. But, you know, and also you talked a little bit about you really kind of stacked it up to your age too.
Oh, yes. No, because if I back up a little bit, after I had my second child, I ran into some stomach problems, and I went to the doctors and I had a bunch of tests ran, like multiple tests, like every test they found, like they couldn't find anything wrong. Like the most I had was I had a endoscopy. And so they just said I had inflammation of the stomach lining. Well, that didn't really tell me anything. And I was looking for an answer of why I wasn't feeling good. And so after so many tests, because I was trying to have my second child at this time, so like radiation tests and everything like that, I didn't want to undergo that. So I was just like, you know what? I know it's just stress. I know it's just my eating. Let me just try and change my eating and exercise and do something for myself. And so it got a little bit better, but it wasn't completely gone. And I notice it with the certain foods that I eat. And then lo and behold, like later on, afterwards, I was just like, oh, well, I'm in my 40s. So it just must be my age. Like there's something wrong with me. It must be my hormones or something like that. And like, what? Am I that old? Really? Do I look that old? No. Do I act that old? No. Like I still have a lot of life in me. I have 2 young kids. One's a 13 and he just turned a teenager, and the other one is 7. So like I'm running around chasing them all the time. But my energy level, like I didn't want to play with them. I was tired all the time. I just wanted to lay on the couch, and I knew it was the sugar. I was so addicted to sugar, and I just didn't know how to stop. Like I didn't even have it in the house, but you know what we did? We would go to Yogurtland, or we would go to the corner store and get like a little pint of it. And that my justification was, well, it's not in the house. Well, yeah, but I'm still getting it every single night,
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I was just kind of going through your posts. All right, guys. And again, if you are just joining us, welcome. Please hashtag I am here. Drop your name so we know you're here. We've got Jennifer Dittman with us, just starting to share with us a little bit about her story, talking about like really what it was that got her to really like press play and start Well, I noticed in one of your first posts that you even talked about the fact that even after you pressed play and started, lo and behold, to me, you made a few tweaks to my meal plan every once in a while.
Not really
Oh,
knowing.
not really
Oh, it's
knowing.
fine. But that's the justification again, like
Mhm.
I got this, I know this, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't being honest with myself. And therefore, if I wasn't being honest with myself, then I certainly wasn't being honest with you, you
Mhm.
know.
And to talk about that, just so for everybody here and clarification, and guys, welcome. Thank you for joining. Is really, I read that and I kind of laughed and I was like, and again, there's gonna be a lot of people that are hearing this are going, really? But sometimes some of my philosophy with why I can be so strict with you guys with foods isn't necessarily that something terrible is going to happen, because nothing terrible happened, like with you doing little slip ups here and there.
Right.
But, and I think you're going to lead into this a little bit, it's more about creating the habit.
Correct.
It's more about what you just said. It's like if you are basically BSing yourself, or me, you're BSing yourself as well. You're
Right.
only like all you're doing is really hindering yourself a little bit. And so a lot of the times, like people will say, well, do I really have to eat all these things? And the structure that I put in place isn't necessarily because I don't know. I think you enjoy a refeed meal every now and again, correct? I mean, burger. Yeah, I think somebody had
Yes.
apple nachos the other day, and other things that you still like. What? Oh my goodness! I believe like the other day you went completely off the rails and then dropped 5 pounds.
Yes. Yes.
So it's really, but I mean, if we think about that and we talk a little bit about that and kind of just leading you kind of into, I think really what clicked with you and that, as you moved forward and really what flipped you to the other side is it is about the mindset. It's about creating the habits. It's about having, and I think it might be where some of this came from, the stretch goals, and basically like we talk about in all of our check-ins, the non-negotiables to hold yourself accountable. And I'll kind of like let you spin it from there, but I'm thinking like some of these things, and basically what I'm trying to say is even as you bought in the beginning, you hadn't 100% bought in until maybe a little further into the program. Am I
Right.
correct?
Right. Yes, absolutely. Because I was doing a couple things, but I wasn't doing everything.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't until I actually started attending, because of course my excuses was like my biggest thing. I had an excuse for everything. And or I would justify and rationalize, why I was doing certain things or why I couldn't do certain things. And so like I would do some of the exercises, but not all of the exercises because, I've got this, I wanted to do my kickboxing. So why are you giving me running? And I hated running. I hated jump rope. I was like, I told Jules, I was like, I'm too old for this. I'm peeing myself. And like, how embarrassing is that? And she was just like, well, you just need to do it. You need to work up to it. And I was just like, F you, but I'm going to do it anyway because I was sick and tired of, you know, the life that I had. Like I didn't want to feel that way anymore. I didn't want to be addicted to sugar. I didn't want to not have any energy. I wanted to have that supermodel body. I wanted to have that, cover of a fitness magazine body, but I just didn't know how to get there. But I figured if my way wasn't working, then I needed to change everything. And so once I finally started listening to other like tribe talks like this, where other women were sharing their experiences and then joining in on the coaching calls, and that's where it really started to click with me because then I was able to hear how about the nutrition and about the mindset. It was more the mindset than anything else. um but it was about like how to write those specific, and it was like first started with, I don't remember what the one was before the SMART goals, but there was one other one before the SMART goals, and then it was like a continuation, and then it was the SMART goals, and then and that's where I was like, okay, now instead of a generalized goal like I just want to get lean and tight, now it was very specific, and the wording that I used was very specific. I will be at 20% body fat by December because I'm coming up on 45. And that's really what triggered me to, jump the gun and work with you, is that, I have this milestone coming up and I didn't want to be one of those statistics. And so I was just like, I will be at 20% body fat by December. I will, I'd have to look and see what I forget every week because it changes. But instead of saying I want to be, I will. And so like that just changed my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And then having that with my non-negotiables align with my goals, like my weekly goals, like everything just seemed to be in alignment, and it just made so much sense to me. It was measurable, it was within a certain time frame, and it was specific.
Mm-hmm.
All of that goes along with SMART goals. It's attainable.
Yeah.
It had to be some reachable, but again, a stretch goal where I'm not really sure if I could get there by this time, but I'm going to try and strive for it. And then like our last, I know we didn't record it, which was kind of a bummer because we were so engrossed in our coaching call that we all forgot to like say, hit record. But that's where we did the Venn diagram for those of you that didn't, like, this one was really, I was like, eye-opening. I have it right
here. I'm going to back up so I can put a little contents around this before you dive into it. So guys, first of all, before Jennifer goes on, are you guys getting value from this? If you are, please drop some fire in the comments if this is helpful. And if you guys can identify with anything that she spoke about, I've heard a few of you go, sugar is your demise. Jackie, I heard you say this. And it is true. You know what? Absolutely, it is true. There's always going to be a trigger. And so a couple of things that I want to call out that Jennifer really talked to that are really key. So like really a lot of this is talking about fat loss in your 40s and beyond, right? And the purpose of bringing Jennifer in is because she really hit on something that I find with a lot of you girls in the tribe, and those of you that are tuning in that may not, are interested in joining, and really trying to get some information and a feel of what we're all about. But mindset is one of the big things I like to work on because it's huge. And as you're hearing from Jennifer, you can put the nutrition in place, you can put the exercise in place. What my favorite saying is, I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make it drink. And that's where you guys come in. And
Right.
That's where it's really about working on that mindset and flipping the switch. And a couple of things, like you may not have really understood what Jennifer was talking about, but we work a lot with changing and reframing what we say. So, think about every time, and this is a challenge that I'm going to give all of you guys, is when listen to what you're saying. And when you catch yourself starting a statement with, I am, and it's followed by something negative, flip the switch, reframe the story into something positive. Or as Jennifer was saying, if you find yourself saying, I want, I can't, anything. So I can't can be, but even I want can be something that you want to flip the switch and change it, as she said, into a I will. Or I can't should turn into I get to. So I'll give for example. I can't find time. I get to find time for myself because I am important, and it's important for me to live a healthy life for me, my family, and my kids. I get to. I have to eat another bowl of oatmeal. I get to eat this oatmeal because it's super healthy and it's enjoyable to me, and it's going to help me get that snatched waist and that round ass that I want, and it's going to keep me healthy, and it's going to have me looking like a cover model. That itself will change it. Does it make the bowl of oatmeal any more appealing? Hell no. But if you reframe things, so basically a lot of things that I like to say that as we're looking at things, because we are programmed at a very young age. And let's face it, at the age of 40, 50 and beyond, we got a lot of programming that's been coming in from media, the news, people, not just our past, our family, our parents, that type of thing, but we also have it from everything that's been coming in. And so I don't know about you, but a lot of that coming in from media can be very negative. So
Yes.
it's about flipping that switch and turning things into a positive. So that's a little bit about what Jennifer was talking about. And really being able to set those SMART goals that we like to do. We call them stretch goals, goals that seem slightly unobtainable, because if they're too easy, let's face it, then it's not as encouraging, it's not as motivating for us to want to go for it. So for me, it used to be, well, it still is bikini competitor. For some of the girls in the tribe, it might be fitting into a bikini. It might be fitting into an old pair of jeans that they never wore. Most of them usually do that within 90 days, and then they're out buying new clothes. So there's a lot of things like that you can do for the stretch goals, but then the non-negotiables become those things that become habits that you do every day, just like brushing your teeth. So like it's a habit to eat the oatmeal every morning. I'm kind of exaggerating, but it's a habit to get out of bed at a certain time and do your morning rituals. It's a habit to go to the gym, to a point like when you don't brush your teeth, you feel a little uncomfortable that this shit isn't happening. So the world can come falling down, and you're always going to brush your teeth. These things are going to happen as well because it's habitual. They may not always be perfect, but they happen. What do you have to say to that, Jennifer?
Yeah, I agree. And actually, it was like that particular coaching call, it was changing. You have like those 5 excuses or those 5 negative self-talk. And I would remember, like, I would tell my husband, I have to do my exercises. Okay. And now it's like, it's time for me to do my exercises. I'm going to do my exercises. Like, it's not, I have to, or I need to. It was complete. Like, as soon as I said that, like, just even said that to myself, I just felt different about it. Like, I wanted to. It wasn't that I had to, or that I was dreading it. But it was just so crazy to me how such a simple little change in how I talked or how I just thought to myself, like, made that change. Even when I was doing my exercises, look, I can't do a pull-up, or it's too hard, or I want to stop, or something like that. And every time I would be like, just one more, just one more push, or you can do it. And I go out on the playground. I'm a teacher. I go out on the playground, and my students and I, we do pull-ups out on the playground, and we try to push ourselves to see how many pull-ups we could do.
I love it.
At recess. You should see all the kids that I get out there.
I can't wait. I'm still waiting for my video on that.
Well, I have to like do something. I'm not very tech savvy, so like I have to bleep out their faces. Like, I can't have them. It's
I got you.
because the HIPAA laws.
I just think it'd be too cute.
But it's so cute. Yeah, it's so much fun, and they love it. So, but
I
yeah,
love
so
that.
just changing that, and then putting Post-it notes. I have that one Post-it note that I put on my mirror, like when I, get ready in the morning, and it says, I am ready to be the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. And so I think you even commented on that when I posted a picture. You're like, you are. So now I need to change it. I am the best version of myself.
Yes.
Yes. And so, but it took, like, I had to like have that visual reminder. And even with like that conference call or that coaching call, it was about journaling. And I don't know if that link is still working or not, but anyways, I just got a regular journal from like Walmart for like $2. And I just have positive affirmations that I can do more than I think I can, or believe in yourself. You're worth the hard work. All those things that Jules has been saying, I've been telling myself and writing it down. So that way, when I get in that state of mind where I'm like, don't think that I can, or don't think I'm deserving, I flip the switch and I say to myself what Jules has been saying. And that's what's helped me be able to be where I'm at, be in the 5.
Be in the
I feel
5.
like I'm a 5 right now. And then I look
will.
at myself in the mirror, and, you know, I used to see, and I wrote this too, I used to see imperfections, and now I see improvements. You know, like I don't have that tight booty that I want, but I'm like, oh, it's getting tighter back there. And I don't see as much cellulite back there, you know, or my arms, like I don't have that flab. Like I see some definition in my arms, like you're looking good, you know? And so it's just like, why would I talk to people in a negative way that I talk to myself? No.
Very good. Very
Why?
good.
So I talk to myself now the way that I would talk to my best friend, you know,
Yep.
or the things that I would say to my best friend if she was thinking these things. So it's
Guys,
total mind.
that, if you guys like, I gotta just put pause. That right there was a mic drop value bomb. Guys, if you need to write that down, I want to see you guys write that in the chat box. I will talk to myself like I would talk to my best friend. That's powerful, guys, because how many of you, and I want to see this light up. I want to see this chat box light up with that. I commit to talking to myself as if I was talking to my best friend, because I know none of you out there would be telling your best friend some of the things that you look in the mirror and tell yourself.
Right.
That was probably the biggest value bomb out there. And I hear it all from you guys. I hear all of that coming in from you and the negative self-talk. And one of the things, like, you get nothing from this call at all, hear what she just said. Flip the switch. It's about telling yourself all the things that are amazing about you. Yes, you have work to do. Yes, you're on a journey, but you got to enjoy every piece of it. And when you flip that switch and you start to show yourself a little bit of self-love, and just like Jennifer says, you start to see things instead of looking in the mirror and seeing the imperfections, you see the growth. You see the things that you have worked hard for. It just starts to morph overnight. And this young lady right here, to my right, to my left, however I is looking on the is the biggest example of this, because, you know, the story that I would love to share with you guys, and this is really like, she kind of like, don't let her fool you. She still teeters. I saw the minute it clicked. Okay, the minute it clicked with her whole, like, within days, a week, her whole body shifted. No joke, and right in front of my eyes, her body just changed, and it was all right here, guys. All right here, because she bought in. She didn't buy into me. She didn't buy into the program. She did that months ago. And, you know, this isn't the call to talk about it, but we talk about different stages or different levels of where you're at on your journey. That was like step 1 for her. Step 2, she's been hanging out in like level 3. And this is something where we went into a little depth on one of our coaching calls on this, where, you know, she was kind of half in, kind of half out. And then she moved over into the 4 most recently, where she's like, nah, I got this. And, you know, she's really elevating to get to the level 5, which is really that place where you really are going to live the rest of your life like you're pretty damn comfortable with there. That's like we all, and listen, I jump between 4 and 5 all the time. So it's really hard to maintain that 5 level. But it's when she flipped the switch and she went from the 3 to the 4. She didn't have her toe half in the water and half out. She wasn't telling me things that she thought I didn't know, but I really did know, because believe me, you can't pull anything over. I mean, I just let you believe that you can. I'm like, okay, well, she wants to believe. You guys want to believe that? Great. I'll let you do that. Moving on. But when she flipped that switch, I was like, oh, here we go. And that's like really no joke, guys. She dropped like I saw her body change in the check-ins, like her pictures, like she just tightened right up. And then she actually did drop 5 pounds. That's no joke. But the funny piece of that was that it was a weekend that she pushed a panic button. So she had to go on vacation. I'm just going to, guys, do I have permission to share this cute little story with you? If I have permission to share this little story with you, drop me some fire because I don't want to take up your time, but this is a good one. Let me know. I'm going to keep moving on a little bit. So she messages me. This is cute, okay? We have a call. She's going on vacation. She's going to Disneyland. I'm like, girl, you're looking good. You're halfway through your program. Here's what we're going to do. She's like, well, I just don't want the normal things to happen. Who can relate to that, right? You don't want like you just spent some hard-earned time to get this body the way that you want. And dear God, I'm going on vacation and I really want to enjoy myself, but hell, if I want to like backtrack. That's kind of what was going through your mind, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
So we had a conversation. I set her up for success. I said, listen, you're going to enjoy yourself. You know, you're going to prepare because if we fail to prepare to fail. So come with your little cooler, have your food so you have your comfort with you. Plan on eating X amount of meals, you know, that are healthy and good for you. You can count on your breakfast because you're waking up in a hotel room and that's easy to do. And you're going to be at a friend's house for X amount of days. So you can kind of plan your meals and feel that comfort and those non-negotiables in place because it gets a little uncomfortable when we don't have those, but enjoy yourself. Like make do when you're in Disneyland. Find the foods that, you know, are going to semi-fit. Have yourself enjoy some refeed meals. Enjoy it. So as long as you don't like go off the rails and you know, for 3 weeks solid or 3 days or 4 days solid, you're okay. Like, you know, have some fun. She
just said off the rails. She didn't say 3 or 4 weeks. She just said off. As long as you don't go off the rails. So here I'm thinking I could have one refeed meal.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a few, but she messages me I don't know, 3 days in. She's like, just checking in. Everything is great. I haven't gotten all my workouts in, but I've been actually pretty darn close to my meal plan. I've been really good with my nutrition. But I'm getting all these steps in, even though my workouts, you know, I haven't been able to get them. We had already established that probably wasn't going to happen, that, you know, when she was in Disneyland, that she's probably going to be really having a good time. But, you know, you walk a lot in Disneyland. So she messages me and I hit my phone. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Sounds like you're having fun. Enjoy yourself. Great. I'm not upset at all. Put the phone down. I don't know. It's like 10 o'clock at night or something over here where I am. My phone goes off again. I pick it up and it's like a 911 from her. I'm like, oh, what the hell just happened? Wait, I literally start scrolling through my phone. Wasn't it just today? Everything was that yesterday?
It was yesterday. It was the day before.
It was fine. It was today. Everything was okay. What happened in like less than 24 hours? Well, she had a few snacks. She had a little extra snacks. And it's funny because it was apples with a little bit of sugar, I guess, and some treats on them. It was a couple of refeed meals, right, that really weren't all that bad.
Right.
It wasn't that terrible.
It was Mexican food. And then at Disneyland, it was like a soft pretzel with cheese. And I think we had like a burger and fries for dinner. And then the next day I had Mexican food for lunch. And I did have like earlier, like one of those afternoons, I had sushi and I didn't have it with any rice. So like I was, you know, still had some healthy plans, but then it was just like, I don't know, a few refeed meals. And then that sugar, like just the apple nachos, like set me over the edge. I was like, oh my God. Cause I had like 2 servings of it and it was like fudge and all kinds of candy on top and nuts and pretzels. And I was like, I was like Chicken Little, like the sky is falling. Like literally, I was like, I messed up. And like when I get in that mode, it was like panic mode. Like it was almost like that flight response.
Yep.
Fight or flight response. Thank you. And I wanted to flight. Like I was just like, oh, I screwed it up. Like it's over with.
Yep. So yes. So like this right here is key where she's going, guys. So this is actually really good where she messaged me because I saw her going there. So this is the moment, guys, and I want you to listen to this, and if you guys can relate to this. So I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it is flight or fright. And it's the all or nothing where we paralyze ourselves with perfection. So again, we're all in our 40s and above, right? If we're in that mature, like we thrive on perfection. We paralyze ourselves with perfection. So it's this all or, I call it paralyzing ourselves with perfection, or it's that all or nothing mentality. So what does that mean? Well, you're all in or you're all out. So this all or in mentality, that she hit that. Okay. So we're on a good roll, and then all of this came up, right? Well, I fucked up is basically what she's saying, right? So instead of, she was on the verge of going, well, I screwed up. I blew it. All of this hard work out the door. I had the apple thingies or whatever the word in the Mexican, and like literally all I can see is apples. I'm like, what's the big deal? And then so now we're just going to throw ourselves over the edge of the building or the cliff or whatever and say, forget it, and go all in and like have the pint of ice cream and the bag of potato chips and just keep eating and going and going and going, because you know what? I screwed up. So all or nothing. That, guys, is who can relate to what we just said? That's where the binge eating comes in.
Where
We're
was, yeah.
with a pint of ice cream, crying our eyes out. Ah, hell, I just messed up. I might as well just keep going.
Might as well. That's
Might
where I
as
was
well.
at. I was at
me,
my
Harley.
other alarms keep going. I was totally at that place. And then you're like, you're fine. You've got this. Just get back on track. And I was like, okay, and then I told myself, I've got this. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. You said, drink lots of water. I drank lots of water. And the next day we were home, because we were on our way home when I was messaging you. And the next day we got home and I got right back on track. And then I did my check-in like a week later and lost 5 pounds. And I had been teetering at the same, like fluctuating 1 pound for like 4 weeks. I know, it's crazy. I was like, holy hot lava. Yeah. I haven't been 135 since I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And that just like put me right down. Like,
yeah. Like, and in the past, what probably would have happened is not only would you have overeaten, even if you'd gotten back on track, you may not have lost the pound. So again,
right,
guys, the moral of the story here too, if you're getting nothing, is really where she flipped the switch, she turned the bend, is what you want to be gathering out of here is the mindset. So even then, when I said to her, and honestly, I'm not saying that you shouldn't drink a lot of water and all those things, but I was just filling her full of things. Like I needed to keep her busy, like, and just get her mind off of, I'm like, drink the water. Because one, I figured hydrating her was going to be good. I didn't really know exactly what she had. And it would fill her up and keep her occupied for a while. But honestly, you know, really it was just the mindset for her to just chill out instead of stopping at every fast food restaurant on the way home, and to relax, because that's the key, guys. We're all going to make mistakes. This is the message here. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck up. I do. And the key is to go, all right, give yourself grace. This shit happened, and move back forward. Like you just get right back on track again. That's what you have to do. That's called life. That's called living. And really it's about making, you know, learning to make smart choices, because you know, we're not 20 anymore, right? So there are certain things that it is helpful for us to have this healthy lifestyle that we pretty much stick to with those non-negotiables, but we're going to bend sometimes. Things are going to happen. And then as long as you come right back to that plan and you start fueling your body again and feeding it, and, you know, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's just what really changed everything for me, because now I'm just like, I am 100% all in. Like I've just been, I'm like a sponge. Like I just want more. I'm like, oh wow, this just makes so much more sense. Like everything just clicked for me. I'm like, I've got this. Like this is fine. So now next time I'm like, okay, when I go out of town, I'm just gonna plan a little bit better or plan a little bit differently.
Yeah. There was nothing wrong with it. And I'm glad. So she caught herself right there, guys. Did you hear? She caught herself right there. She said, I'm going to plan better. Then she went, no, I'm going to plan differently. She reframed it immediately right there in front of you guys.
My
She
thinking.
reframed it. Well done, girlfriend. All right, guys. So I want to we've been on here for almost 30 minutes. I want to give you guys a little bit of some time to ask some questions. We'll keep talking, but I want to open the floor up. Does anybody have any questions for myself or Jennifer? Because I see a few of you. I see me. I'm a binge eater. I see stress eaters. I see a lot of, so tell me guys, if you've got questions in here, we're here to answer them. She's kind of giving you a little bit of insight on her story. So drop us some questions if you've got them. And while we're waiting for questions, we can touch a little bit on your circle. Which is, you are right. We forgot about this.
Oh yeah, we really need to get into this because I don't know that really a whole lot of people have.
Okay, wait a minute, Harleen. I would just love to hear more about the journey and the blocking points, and how you got past them. So, and then so blocking points, and then we've got in maintenance plan the same as, okay, I'll get to that. Is a maintenance plan the same as a reverse diet when coming out of a cut? I'm going to get that, and I'm going to let you get Harleen's question. So yes and no. So a maintenance plan is, yes, definitely very much like, I'm not certain who this is. I can't see your name. I just see Facebook user. But a maintenance plan is very much the same as a reverse diet. Usually when you get, now it depends on your coach. I don't know if you are one of mine or somebody that is coming in, but a lot of times a maintenance plan is very similar to a reverse diet. You've probably already been reversed if you're at a maintenance plan, and you are at probably what would be called your maintenance caloric intake, like the amount of caloric calories and macros that your body needs to maintain that weight that you are at. Now that doesn't mean that you might not still continue to lose body fat, but you'll pretty much maintain that weight. So you've probably been reverse diet out. Your metabolism is running like a clock, and there could be numerous things that are going on when you're in a maintenance plan. You could be still trying to lose body fat a little bit, but just as a little slower process while gaining muscle. Does that answer your question? So it kind of depends on who you are, what's kind of going on. But in general, as the most part, yes, they're similar, but you've probably already been reverse diet if you're in a maintenance plan. That answers your question. Let me know. I'm also, okay, so Harleen wants to know, Jennifer, a little bit more about some of your blocking points and how you got past them.
Well, my biggest blocking point was, again, the negative self-talk, just telling myself that I can't do something or I won't do something, and flipping the switch and actually reaching out to Jules and saying, hey, I don't want to do this. And she said, well, you're going to have to do it, or you need to do it, and you need to get those exercises in. And so I would just do it anyways, regardless of how I felt about it. I just do the action, and then regardless of what my head was telling me. And then I would also write down positive affirmations that I wanted to tell myself. So that way I would start thinking more positively towards myself, if that makes sense. And then I would take all the suggestions. Like she said, well, go on this tribe coaching call and go back and listen to this, or go back. Because if I had that negative, like she could see in my messages, the negativity that was coming out when I would do my check-ins or when I would message her. And so she would tell me to go back and listen to this coaching call, or go back and listen to Abraham Hicks, or establish a morning routine, establish a bedtime routine. And so that's what I did. And it became a habit. And then once it became a habit, then it just clicked for me. Then it just made sense. Like I consistently showed up to the coaching calls, like 3 consecutive ones in a row that all aligned with each other exactly. And I heard exactly what I needed to hear in order for the switch to click, for it to switch, for me to have my aha moment. So I was just like, it was just taking the suggestions 100% and not halfway in. Like, I just knew that I didn't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I didn't want to be that girl in that picture. And then I would look at my side by sides and I would see, okay, I am making progress. Because when I look at myself in the mirror, just with what I see every day, I don't see that change. But I was able to see that change.
So one of the biggest things, guys, I just heard out of everything that she said, and I think you should all write it down in the chat box, is go all in. She went all in. She went all in. She said that as she was talking. She's like, and it may not always be like, for her, it was those 3 consecutive tribe talks. That's what she needed to hear.
Yeah.
It's what she needed at that time to fuel her. Okay. It could be different for everybody, but if you heard at the end of it, I heard those things and I went all in. So she was like, that was the biggest, it's about finding what it is for you to really commit to yourself, because really at the end of the day, guys, I write a lot of posts on this because it's really true. It's about really making space and time for yourself. All of you come to me with almost the exact same thing. You create time and space for everybody and everything but yourself. And that is how you've gotten to where you are. And really the biggest thing that I do with many, many of you, whether you realize it or not, is I'm trying to show you how to create that space for yourself. Because if you put yourself first, everything else, and she said this a few times too, and I don't even know that she knew she said it, is you fall into alignment. She said everything started to align. She's falling into alignment. What that means is once she's in alignment with herself, then everything comes into you. And that doesn't even just mean health and fitness. That's everything. But it's about really learning to put yourself first, because when you do that, when you create that space for yourself, everything else just happens. It gets around you. Like the sand is always going to find room. You don't have to worry about that. So the shit in your life, it's always going to find its way in. So if you take a vase and you pile it full of a bunch of rocks, guys, which is you, the things that you need to do for you, the things that you need that are going to fulfill you, trust me, the sand, which is the rest of the shit, all that noisy shit that has to get done that you're trying to make time for, it will find its way around the rocks. But the unfortunate thing is, when you allow the vase to fill up with the sand, guess what? There's no fucking room for the rocks, which is you. And that's where you are, where you are.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's exactly what you had said to me. Like, you need to make time for yourself. Why not you?
Why not?
And so I was like, well, why not me? And so one of my non-negotiables is that I set an alarm every day and I leave work at 5 o'clock, whether I'm done or I have a disaster of a mess in my classroom or not. I leave at 5 o'clock. That's my non-negotiable.
I love it.
Because I need to take care of me. So.
Because if you don't fill your
hard.
cup, nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else.
So hard.
Yeah, it never is. All right, let me zip through these. Okay, and you can keep. How many days are your workout programs? Guys, that just depends. I'm not sure who asked that question, but how many days are my workout programs? Generally, I have anybody on a 5 to a 6 day split. It really depends on you. Just to know a little bit about my programs, really, you go through a 2-week assessment. So everybody in the tribe can tell you, Jennifer went through it as well. You go through a 2-week assessment where I assess your strength, your endurance, and your time. And then if there's things that you enjoy doing, Jennifer talked about kickboxing. I work them into her program. She's now worked them out of her program. But, I will work with you on that. But really, it just depends on everybody's an individual. I am adamant about you doing strength training. And another thing that I do in my program is you will all do cardio, but probably not to the extent that you think. And that's another thing that, to be honest with you, probably there's another girl in the group that really noticed some big changes, and Jennifer just did it too. So while I didn't pull kickboxing away from Jennifer, a lot of the changes in her body, she's been doing more strength training. Her kickboxing, which I'm not bashing in any way, shape, or form, was something that she was really doing, and her membership has run out. So she's been moving more into strength training, which is something that I preach. But again, listen, whatever is going to get you to the gym, I'm going to allow you to do. But it's something that I talk about, and this is a great example of it, is backing off a little bit of the cardio and increasing the strength training. Why? Because that's where we are in our lives. We need to build muscle, because building muscle speeds up the metabolism. When we speed up the metabolism, we lose 5 pounds, after eating apple treats, and things like that. But basically what happens is, as we lose weight, we lose body fat, which is what we want to do. And we maintain or gain muscle, which is what we need to do. So we're constantly burning fat and staying lean, even at rest. So there's another girl in the tribe that this just happened to, and it's been happening to Jennifer too. So she basically pulled the cardio away herself. It wasn't something that I was going to argue with. She liked to do it, so I left her doing it. But she's noticed some pretty big changes since backing away. So that is another thing that will happen in my programs is I'll never tell you you won't do cardio, but it might not be to the extent that you think it is. Is macros food plan that I do? No, I don't do a macro food plan. I teach you the art of flexible dieting, and which is AKA macros, but I write a specific meal plan for you. Why do I do that? Because there are certain foods that fuel your body, and food is fuel. And so I want you to learn what foods fuel you best, what will propel you into a workout, what will help you recover from a workout, what are the best complex carbs you should be eating, what are the best types of protein, how do you pair those together, what are the crucifix or the green leafy vegetables that you need that are going to help balance out your hormones. There's a lot of things, guys, that you really need to learn before I throw you over the fence. And the easiest way for me to put this to you is if I put you on a macro-based diet, even if you understand macros, one day I'm going to be looking at your meal plan. I'm going to say, hey, Jennifer, or your stats from your nutrition. And I'll be like, hey, Jennifer, what was up with the Pop-Tart? And Jennifer's going to go, who, by the way, you just remember we talked about being addicted to sugar, right? But Jules, it fit my macros. Okay, great. Would you tell me a little bit about the nutritional value in that Pop-Tart?
None.
So if that makes sense, guys, please know that I am not that girl that's going to, just say that these are all the things that you can do. I am going to put some structure to your meal plan, but I will get some fucking results. And I am going to teach you how to fuel your body properly. And I am going to teach you how to go out to dinner, enjoy life with a meal that is actually going to propel you forward. You heard what she said. She lost 5 pounds. The meal that's going to propel you forward in your weight loss journey versus set you back and have you feeling like crap. Because I don't think any of us want that.
No.
Especially going into the holidays.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you are in my tribe, this Saturday's coaching call, this is a little bit of a preempt for that. It's going to be all about the holidays. So those of you that are in the tribe, you are not going to want to miss Saturday's coaching call, Zoom call, because we're going to talk about getting through the holidays.
Yes.
All right. I'm just piling through some of these questions, Jennifer.
So I want to, is there a lot of
women?
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I'm just reading through them.
Is there a lot of women on here? Okay. So I just wanted to share that, like, since I've been consistently eating healthy, I used to have like terrible period cramps, and I don't even realize when I'm having my period. It's like all of a sudden, oh, hello. And I do my workouts. I drink my water. I think you told me like just eat some extra carrots. So I eat extra a couple of carrots. What is that? Like nothing, no cramps, no bloating, nothing.
Funny you say that. There's another girl in the tribe
Bible.
that just told me that. Yeah, another girl in the tribe just told me that. She was like, oh, she's like, remember how XYZ happened last week? She's like, well, guess what just happened? She goes, and I didn't know. She goes, because I don't have any of the symptoms anymore since I've been on
Right.
your plan. This is a good one for you, Jennifer. This one says, all the full-time working mamas with babies, how do you find time? Before I had a baby, I was working 5 to 6 times a week and eating great. Now I'm exhausted and floundering, and trying to find a routine. Well, I know what I would say to that, but you're a full-time mom, so what would you say to that, Jennifer?
I make the time. I set an alarm. I get up. It's a non-negotiable for me. I get up in the morning at 4 a.m. That's my time for me. I have my tea. I drink some water. I eat my breakfast. I go to the gym at 5 o'clock. I started with a short period of time. I started with 45 minutes and then it's increased to an hour. And then I even told Jules that, I don't know if I could do this, but like I would do my cardio in the morning and then I would do my workouts at night and I would be struggling to get them in at night. But then I started to set my alarm a little bit sooner and now I can get my full hour and a half. I just make the time. I make the time because I'm worth it. And that's, again, that was that switch that I needed in my head to tell me, like, I have time with my kids. I leave work at 5 o'clock. I don't stay after 5 o'clock. And then I spend time with my kids. If I do my workout in the morning, then I could spend time with my kids in the evening and make dinner. Meal prepping, if we're going to go head it into meal prepping has saved me. Like, yes, it's a little bit of time and a little bit of work on Sundays, but now that I've got a routine and I've been doing it for a while, like it's so easy. And then I'm not cooking anything when I get home. I'm spending time with my kids because my meals are already prepped and ready to go. I just heat them up in the microwave and we're having dinner together and doing homework together or going to play at the park or whatever. Like I spend more time. I am doing so much more now, but I spend more time with my kids because I'm not tired, I'm not exhausted or run down. I have more energy, and I manage my time better.
It's funny you say that. That's really good, and I hope that was, guys, if that was helpful, drop some fire in the comments for Jennifer, because that really, she, like, another mic drop. She just dropped another bomb on you guys. So those of you that are still with the call, that was huge. If you didn't catch that, she's probably I would say the 10th tribe member that I have that's a working mom that has told me that they have more time now than they did before because they have more energy. It's not going to be easy in the beginning, but that's time. I have there's a testimonial, I think it's on Google, from a mom that trained with me. And she said, when I came to you, or when I came to Jules, I didn't think I had time to work out. Turns out I had a hell of a lot of time. What I didn't have was the energy. And once I started fueling and taking care of myself, I had all the time in the world. And she was a mom that was an entrepreneur. Jackie's in here. Jackie's the same thing. She's a mom and an entrepreneur, and she travels like all the time. I think Jackie's in here. I don't know if she's still. Yeah, absolutely. And, so I think that's like the really key. Again, it's going to flip back, guys, to the mindset. We are accustomed. I'm going to repeat this again. And this goes out to the person that talked about the mom with the baby. And I've got a lot of moms that work with me, but if you are continuing to fill other people's cup, this is what Jennifer's saying, and you don't fill your own cup first, you aren't going to have the energy. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to like the reflection in the mirror. Your attitude's going to be poor. You're not going to feel good. You're going to have guilt, sorrow, sadness, depression, all these things going on that don't make you, I'm sorry, this is going to hurt, a wonderful mother, a wonderful partner, an amazing friend, a good teacher. I'm going to guarantee you, I will venture to guess that if I ask Jennifer right now if she's a better mom, a better partner, a better teacher, if all these things have improved, I bet you she's going to say yes. And she's got the ability to throw me right under the bus right now. But I'm going to.
Yes. No, hell yes. I've everything. Like it just everything. My whole life. Like every aspect of my life has improved.
Because it starts within here. And when
Correct.
you fill your own cup, you have more to give. So for those of you that are tuning in that are like, yeah, but, well, you can but all you want, but you aren't, if you don't put in, if you continue to make the excuses and why you can't make the time, why you can't find the money, why you can't invest in yourself, and they're all freaking excuses. I know they are. Okay. I'm sorry. That's going to hurt too. But it is. It's going to sting bad. But you're making excuses and you will continue. I don't want to start before the holidays. I just had somebody tell me that. I can't commit blah, blah, blah. And guess what? The holidays are going to come and go. And you want to know something? You're not going to start. You're not. And then 16 weeks from now, you're going to be looking at Jennifer going, God damn, if I'd have started, look at her now. I could look like that. And you're going to be, and then guilt's going to load in on top of you and you're going to feel bad about that. And then you're going to wish, like, guys, it's this.
It's that vicious cycle.
Yep. And it's just you're going to start rolling downhill and you're never going to get up. So here's my advice. And Jennifer's probably going to give you the same, just do it. Rip the damn Band-Aid off, do it, find the time, because once you start to fill your own cup, it's going to be the best gift that you can give yourself. You fill your own cup, everything is going to get better. Like everything around you is going to feel better because it's all going to, it's like your ray of shine that kind of just opens up to the world.
Yep.
Yeah. So just do it, guys. And trust me, I'm not here for anything that my purpose and mission in life is to, like, I want y'all to feel amazing. I want y'all to feel like Jennifer. I want you to all feel, I was like, I didn't change my life till I was 48 years old. All right, I'm going to keep bebopping through these questions, girl.
That was a good one.
For me, it's scheduling. I think we hit this one. It's scheduling time, including my baby. If I need to, okay. This one, Jenny, she's a tribe member. Basically, she's planning ahead. Jackie says, yes, Amanda, as a new mom, you are going to need to find your own time. It's important that for mental health, it's a baby. Yep. Okay, look at the tribe's got you guys. Holy crap. The tribe is supporting everybody in here. I love it. I don't see any outstanding questions. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, let's see. Harleen says she's glad she started before. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, drop them in here. I think I'm to the bottom of them. If not, Jennifer, I'll let you say some lasting words, guys. Ask us some questions, but we will come back here. I don't want to take up. I know that we've already been here for an hour. Holy cow, Jennifer. So Jennifer and I will keep an eye on this. We will come back and answer any questions. If you guys watch this on the replay, #replay. And let us know that you did come back and watch it on the replay. If you are here, make sure you #I am here with your name and drop any questions that you have. We will continue to check these throughout the week. And I'm actually, for the next 4 days, guys, going to be coming in here live and talking about a few different things. I might have some more special guests with me. And if you didn't know, Amber is starting a challenge tomorrow. It is a Pimp Your Pull-Up Challenge. So we did a push-up challenge. Now we're going to do a Pimp Your Pull-Up Challenge. It's going to be one of 2 challenges. So those of you that are like, oh, God. So we're going to do 2 challenges. The first one is going to help build some strength. Then the second one is going to build a little bit more strength, and we're going to have you doing a pull-up for the end of it. So pimp your pull-up with us, starting with Amber tomorrow. And if you guys haven't met Amber, she's fire. She's one of my assistant coaches. And yeah, she does a hell of a job. I might have a new coach starting too soon. So wait, I'm backwards in here. I have somebody interviewing. All right, guys. All right, Jenna. Oh, yay, Jenna, you were here. You should have put in on that comment about the busy mom because Jenna, you are a busy mom of a couple. Guys, Jenna just popped. I am here. I've got to get Jenna on one of these calls this week. Jenna, you in to get on one of these calls? Because, man, she's got some great results that have been happening. Her mindset is tied in, and she's got some examples that we could share as well. We have a fun little story with Jenna about walking lunges. Now she asks me for them.
Those walking lunges.
All right, Jenna says she would love to. All right, guys,
Yay.
so you stay tuned. We are going to get Jenna on a call this week to have some conversations with her as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop some fire for Jen. I think she did amazing, and we will see you soon. Peace.
Bye.
Wait, where's my button?